Hello everybody, so in this one we are looking at a completely unique company from something that we have seen before on the channel. If you have a look, the company is called Global X Super Dividend. The symbol for it on the Nasdaq is SRET, and of course the stock's value is currently $8.90. So of course in this one we're having a quick look, not too deep of course, at the price action of the stock. Then we're having a bit of a fundamental analysis looking at what the company does and why it might be something that you want to add to your portfolio. So of course, if that does sound like a good plan, please do make sure to leave a like and do subscribe to the channel. Now of course I am not a financial advisor and this is just my opinion, but you know what, we're going to jump straight into the video. Let's have a quick look at how it has been moving. So when we have a quick look at our screens right now, we can see the value of SRET stock over the past 5 days. Unfortunately, we are down a small bit over the week. Most notably to the end of the week, we are actually looking a bit more in the green, but obviously it was not enough to counteract that earlier sell-off from the earliest part of the week. Looking at this one on the 1 day chart, is pretty flat to be honest. Maybe slightly in the red, I am not 100% sure. I think it's actually 100% neutral, so of course not bad at all to see that. Not really anything to say about that at all, because you know, if it's green or if it's red, then we've got something to say, but if it's neutral, nothing at all. Looking at this one on the 1 month chart, we are fortunately looking at growth. Growth figures for this month do appear to be about 3%, so not bad at all for the stock. You know, it's not the biggest growth figure that we have seen, but look at this one on the 6 month chart, we can see why it might still have room to explode higher in the future. So of course, yeah, we have seen a big piece of growth, most notably from the earlier part of November up until now, and of course we are looking towards a little bit of a sell-off potentially, and of course if that does happen, you might be asking yourself, is now the best time to pick up this stock at a bargain price? So of course, in this episode, we're going to be giving my personal opinions and all that kind of good stuff. So first things first, we're going to have a quick look at what the company actually does. And of course, this company is called Global X Super Dividend. So of course, from that title, we can tell they are working on dividends. And if we do have a quick look at the fund summary, we can see this is true. So I do believe this is an ETF. Yes, that is the case. So of course, what they actually specialize in is investing in 30 of the highest dividend yielding REITs globally. So of course this means that they intend to get good dividends from the companies which they invest in, which is obviously what people do want to see. Obviously the benefits of this one, and this is coming from their site as well, is that it provides high passive income, and that is absolutely true. Just imagine it, of course, if you're buying multiple shares of this and you're getting high dividends, it will provide high income potentially if things do go correctly. Of course, if dividends do get distributed on a monthly basis, that is a good benefit. And another one is the potential of global exposure. So of course, investing in multiple companies around the world, you kind of do get to experience many different global markets. So of course, we can see what the top 10 companies which this one does invest in are. Now of course, a lot of these, and I can almost say none of these, I have ever heard of before, but I do presume that somebody is managing this ETF and obviously probably doing it quite well. And I think, you know, it's not necessarily bad that we don't know these companies if they are providing the best dividends, and of course that is what this company does intend to do. So of course it is looking quite good, to be honest. If we look at the amount of assets which the highest one does hold, I do believe it is about 5.3%. so of course it's not too high anyway, so it's not really even too bad, but obviously, you know, we can see the top 10 companies if you are interested. Now of course here we do get a bit of a country breakdown. I think it would go without saying that the highest country on this is going to be the United States. Now us guys already know that a lot of the major companies in the world do actually come from the United States, so that does make 100% sense. We have our second largest one at Canada. I think Canada is quite similar, a lot of large companies do come from there. Singapore is actually quite a big one, so I kind of understand this one as well, and the smaller one is actually Australia, so interesting to see Australia on there. I'm not sure which companies they are, but that's very interesting. Now, of course, coming from the UK, it would be nice to see a bit of Great Britain on there, but it is unfortunate. But, you know, if these companies are providing the best results, fair enough to them. So, of course, yeah, that is looking at what the company does. So, obviously, it is a very interesting company, and I want to say thank you to Blazer from Discord for recommending this one, because, obviously, we have not really covered a stock like this on the channel before. So, of course, if you are interested in investing in dividends, I do think this one really does provide some good potential. If we're looking at what Google is telling showing us the dividend yield for this one is at 14.88%. So let's just round that up to 15%. Honestly, a 15% ROI is not bad at all. Obviously, if you're buying 1 or 2 shares of this, maybe it doesn't sound like a lot, but just imagine if you're buying multiple shares, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands, that is really quite a good, percentage to see. And I think it's a very interesting, I'm not going to call it a business model because it is an ETF, but what they do is quite interesting, and I really do think it is cool how they are doing this one. So of course, when we are looking at a company like this, and my personal views on this one, I am not a financial advisor, and if you are interested in this company, I do recommend that you do your own due diligence. But my personal views are, if you are going to buy a few shares of this, a few to make it significant enough to kind of contribute to investing in this, if you are going to invest enough to make a 14% return sound decent, I think this is not a bad stock at all to invest in. Obviously, if we want to invest in a few other stocks, I'm sure we can find a better than 14% return, but for a dividend, that is not bad at all. I do see this one as being a very cool pick, so thank you for recommending it, like I said. And honestly, if you are somebody who invests with multiple shares, I mean this like a lot of shares at a time, absolutely a company like this is one to buy in my opinion. But if you're buying 1 or 2 shares, you've got to ask yourself, are we going to get better deals in other places? Regardless, I do think it is interesting that we have covered this one. I'm very glad that we have covered it, and I will definitely be keeping this one on my own sites to potentially add to my own portfolio. So thank you for the suggestion, like I said. Thank you for viewing. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye until then.